Hello, it's me, Matt, and I'm back with a bit of a weird video today. Trying something a bit different. It's been a request on my channel for a while to do a tutorial on how to make the modified Dieselnaut. So I thought I'd deconstruct it and try and walk people through how it's made, because instructions, I don't really have them because I just winged it, so walking you through it's going to be the best I can do. So first off, I'm just going to take all the vehicles out, just all the sub-assemblies and stuff. Just don't really need those at the moment. Because everything, well, most of the things on here, as you modify it, become, compartmentalized, I guess is the proper term for it. So with the original model, you're going to have your the whole base of the model and your three main sections, which is like your tiers of building, which makes it a lot easier to take each section off and change it up. So you've got the front engine. Like in the set, this is the driver's cabin, but I moved the cabin up to the top and this is now the engine. The middle part with the platform cage, that's your second part, and then the engine, or for me it's the cabin area, that's the third part. So to start modifying it, you're going to take those off in each section so we can clear out the whole base of the model to modify. So now I'm going to just try and rip this whole thing up in one go so you can get a look how everything's done. Now, most of the model is just bricks, like for the wall it's just bricks, and the whole bottom is plated. So once you've removed each of the main sections, you're just going to be left with the Technic frame at the base. Now what I've done, like to get the width for the walkways, like once it's all done, you leave all of these pieces in for the wheels, or the Technic connectors, so you know where you have to reconnect them, because you have to do a bit of shifting around of the parts as you rework the whole thing, because you want to keep the spacing all the same to put the wheels in the right spot. So once you've got, so you add 2 studs on each side, so it becomes 4 wider in total, and then you just have to plate all of it together and connect it. And then I just added some stuff in here so I could put the bumper back on, so it can still have the springing function of the bumper. Now the front part's probably going to be your hardest, just because of the tier of the wheels, because you just got to get that spacing right, but if you can do that, the rest is pretty easy. So first with the engine, there's going to be, where is it? Yeah. There's going to be these orange slanted pieces on the sides of the engine, and you're going to want to take those out and replace it with just regular plates. And then once you've done that, you pretty much just keep that as the whole assembly. For me, I just fill it with engine pieces. So to do the whole model at once, from the front to back, you just plate the whole thing. At the front, it's a bit wider because that's where I've got the walkways, because it fits where the track, like between the tracks and the engine, because the engine's thinner than the rest of the model, whereas the other walkways have to go up and then out to go over the tires. So that bit's lower, and so you have these wider, and then you just have the rest of this plated for your vehicles. And at this point, this is where you want to figure out the size of your vehicles if you're going to be putting them in the back. So for my 2 vehicles, that's all the length I needed, so I knew I had to plate it up to here. I added a bit more where the ramp is, but it just came off before. Yeah, so you want to make sure you get the height to go over the vehicles. So you'll want to, once you've reattached the wheels, you just want to add some steps and just some support in this main section, just to keep the height that you need to go over the vehicles. Now, you're gonna have to give me a minute because I now have to reattach all of the walls that are now broken off. Pretty sure that went there. Some parts I may have misplaced a little, but hopefully I haven't, because that'd be annoying. Okay, so it's just a matter of getting the height that you want through the whole model. You just build up some walls, but make sure you start attaching the walkways along the model. So you build up the walls, figure out where you want your walkways, which generally just be just over the tires. For this tier, it'll go up, like I have it going up to where it has the sections that divide the back two tires. So I can have, on one side I've got a crane and then the other I've got ladders. So on this side it just ends where the crane is, but on the other side the walkway goes all the way up to here for some stairs. And then I've left this gap in the middle and built around it so I can re-support the middle section. Now with this middle piece, when you take it off, it's going to have some Technic like bricks and connectors that make it a bit taller. What I did is I disconnected them off, took all the Technic bits off. I used this frame on the bottom just to give it some more structural strength because of the new dimensions of it. And then the pins that are left I just covered with these like Technic pin covers. Using a separate monitor, it's a bit hard. So you just get a good look at that, see how I changed it up. So it makes it a little loose, just because of how, like, it's not being held down, but it means it sits comfortably on the model. Now with the back, this is all up to how you want to have your model, if you're modifying it. Once I got up to the next tier, I put a whole lot of jumpers and flat tiles, but then I also extended it, out at the top, and I've supported it with some Technic beams. So the whole thing makes it structurally sound, so it can support the newer rear platform. Now with the tier, like the third tier, in the main model, it's pretty much just that. But I made mine a little taller, and then I extended it out, and then I've gotten more plates and platforms to make it longer. So I just have the whole thing connected up underneath, so it lines up with all of the plates or the tiles in there, so it doesn't slide around. And the whole thing, because I've got my modified helicopter on the back, it won't fall off, because the original, when I first got this connected, it wasn't supported, and this just popped off because there was too much weight on the back, and that's why I had to support it. If you're not adding a helicopter, but you just want to add all the walkways, you could just have it going up to here, you know, so you don't have a helicopter. So if you just have it up to here, you won't need all the supports and stuff. You can just have the ramp cutting straight up, whereas mine's, you know, on an angle just because it's got the supports to match up with it. It's kind of hard to do a tutorial on something I just winged, but this rough, you know, kind of guide hopefully helps some of you who've asked how to do it. If you have any questions, you know, in the comments, I can post some pictures on my Instagram if you want to, you know, if there's a certain section you need more detail on, I can take a picture, upload it there, you know, and link it to you in the comments if you need, you know, any help doing it, because besides that, I don't really know how much else I can explain the model. So I hope it's helped, and you know, I hope I can get more videos out soon.